All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Marketplace Mavericks. We are three over the hill guys,
Very handsome over the hill guys.
handsome over the hill guys, kind of telling our story about selling on Amazon. And well, today it's an update. Update Wednesday. Update Wednesday. We haven't really given you guys a breakdown of how we're doing, each of us and where we are, because we're all in kind of three different stages right now of doing this, and we still bounce ideas off of each other, but we are, yeah, we're kind of, so we want to give you an update. Newsflash, none of us are rich yet.
Pete
But we're on
Pete
our
Pete
way.
did go from the two-digit seller to the three-digit seller
Three
to a
digits.
four-digit
Yep.
seller. Yeah.
Yeah. Tell us.
Well, I'm kind of liking this whole have a guest and then have an update, alternating weeks. It's kind of nice, It kind of take a quick breather, if you will. And like John said, this is going to be just an update. So as far as my update goes, it's not too exciting to be honest. We're actually sending out a box tomorrow, FBA. Just I think it's one or two boxes, and we'll do this. We have this scheduled to do this every week, and to be honest, we're getting sales, but this whole sending out one box a week of just kind of random stuff, nothing really. We're not really drilling down into one particular product and buying a bunch of it and sending that. We're buying a bunch of various products, whether it be going out and doing RA or OA. We are finding ourselves that we are just sort of breaking even. So, and this has been going on, I guess, for the past couple of months now. So we'll just put together a box by Friday. We'll have it out to UPS, and then we'll see it posted in a couple of weeks via Amazon. And then we'll see sales come through. We'll check SellerBoard, and again, it'll be pretty consistent across the board every other week or so. But yeah, as far as profitability goes, I honestly would say that we are not overall profitable yet, but we're also not in the negative. So we're just kind of like right in the middle.
I want to ask you a question, Pete, because you did mention seller board. That's something I don't think we've really talked much about.
Yeah, SellerBoard. It's something very similar to what Amazon has. It's very for us. It's much more user friendly. So what SellerBoard is, it just kind of tells you, what your sales are for the month, what they're forecasted to be for next month, what your sales are for today, and just the way it's laid out is very. It's easy for us to understand as opposed to kind of searching around Amazon trying to find all these numbers. But it's laid out very very well, and so we use that to kind of monitor our sales, and
It's
it
another
even
little
shows
fee,
the
but it's
returns.
very
It
good.
shows the net profit, margin, ROI, all that stuff. It's just a wealth of information, and it's very well laid out. So yeah, Seller Board.
Very
I definitely
user-friendly.
recommend it. Yeah,
Yeah. Cheap. I think it's like 10-15 bucks a month.
yeah, it's really cheap.
Yeah,
I think
it's
10, maybe
it's
15.
yeah, it's well worth it. It just takes into account everything, and you can
Yeah,
put everything into it.
yeah.
It's almost something like the kind of thing where it's really good for your accountant too. It exports to QuickBooks, stuff like that. So it's yeah. I didn't use it for like 3 months, 4 months, and then
Mhm.
finally I was like, oh wait, I need to use this
Yeah.
because I can put everything in there. It does the shipping pretty easily, and pretty accurately, and it does. Now that I'm starting to use a prep center, I can put in like my prep freeze into the back end of it. So if you want it to, it can give you a really close look at what you're doing. I mean, if you had VAs, you're paying yourself, you could put all that in weekly, everything, really.
Right.
So you can really have it narrowed down where that line, you can make that pretty accurate.
Yeah, and it's all integrated with Amazon, like a lot of the apps are, Boxum, Aura, all these apps. It's the same thing. It's integrated with Amazon, and it just takes all the gobbledygook data that Amazon has scattered everywhere, and it just kind of puts it in a very easy to follow, very easy to read place, and kind of the way they have it all laid out. The one thing I would say that I'm not too big of a fan of about it is that it doesn't show the cost of goods sold. You have to actually go in there and manually and put in what you bought all your products for. And so that's a little bit of a headache. It takes a little bit of time. And then sometimes you'll see, a sale come through, and if you don't have your cost of goods sold on there, it'll show you profited whatever the sale of that product was because it doesn't subtract what you bought it for. So you just got to keep an eye on that. But overall, I really do like it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think seller board has turned out to be probably one of all three of our favorite apps or web resources that we can utilize because it is so user friendly.
Yeah, it's a must-have for once you definitely don't need it right away, but in the first 6 months,
And
once
for
you
the
start
10,
doing,
15, $20, you can't
yeah,
beat it.
exactly. So, well, Blake, what have you been doing?
Yeah, guys. So I wouldn't say I took a hiatus, but I kind of cut back a little bit, as I had said in one of our previous episodes, that I was in the process of trying to recoup some cash, and so I got all that stuff taken care of, and so I wouldn't say that it was all profit, obviously, but I was able to take care of it because I had some cash, and so I got that taken care of. I'm kind of back to a level playing field. Went out the last couple weeks and probably spent, I don't know, a couple 2 to 3 thousand on some other goods and stuff that I'm gonna be sending in. I say goods, but good, yeah, I guess it is all goods, but going to be sending that in probably in the next day or so. And so I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff hit. And also some of the stuff that I had previously bought, I got it sent in. And so some of that is starting to hit. And so I have seen some increase in the sales. Back in March, I had a $10,000 month in March, and then I knew April and May was going to be slower because I intentionally slowed down. I was waiting to recoup some capital, and then now in June, I've been having a really busy time in my own personal life with just a ton of things going on, and so I've got one move down. I'm about to move my mother-in-law, and then we're going to be making a move to Missouri, all of us together, and so it's been a whole lot for me in terms of just personal, but I am going to continue pushing my way through all of this stuff, and I'm really excited for some potentials that I have that I'm kind of dialed into, that it could be something really good for me with some private branded stuff. And so that's I'll keep you guys posted on some of that, but it's just kind of in the works. But yeah, I'm really excited for continuing in this venture, and I see some incredible things that can happen. I'm still a huge believer in it. Again, being a Maverick, being 44 years old, and you got family and you have all these other side issues that we all have to deal with and figure out a way to manage and those kind of things. And so I'm no different than the rest of you that are out there trying to do the exact same thing. And so one of the things that I personally really like about this is that we can just be as candid as we are. Pete saying he sent out a box. Sometimes it's hard to get one box out. Let that be an encouragement to you that you can still do it. You got to press through. You got to grind, as John always says. There's a lot of grinding that's got to be done, but it is possible. You can do it. And I think once you get to a certain place, and you start to see the return, then I think it's easier to take a little bit deeper dive into things, and it gives you a little more confidence to keep going a little further
Hmm.
and invest more, and all of those things. But I think for me, even last week, I wasn't on the podcast with you guys, but listening to Tony, and the three of us were texting back and forth. I think one of the things that we all took away, even from just that, I'm kind of rabbit trailing here, but was the organization side of things. Like, it is so imperative to begin your organization now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Try to get as organized as you can now and start adding your SOPs, all them standard operating procedures that you got to get going. Like,
Hmm.
get all of that stuff in place so that when you are ready to move on, and I'm kind of leading into a segue here of John, because John is progressing further and faster than what me and Pete are, but he's also venturing out into a different venture with the wholesale side. But I'm like Pete. I'm doing some RA, some OA, mainly RA. But yeah, I think it's going well, and I'm ready for the sales to hit. I'm ready to become rich like the rest of us, like the rest of you guys are. And John's just probably going to get there a little faster than us. So John, why don't you give us a little bit of heads up on what Mr. John Cutler is doing from the big state of Massachusetts?
Yeah, so I haven't had any personal life whatsoever for the past like month and a half.
Yeah, you do seem
Um,
pretty boring, John.
yeah, I actually haven't had anything going on. I barely talked to anybody because I've been staring at my computer like a crackhead.
The good thing is, John, you're so intelligent with that computer that
Oh,
you're teaching it things.
yeah, yeah. I've only had to Zoom my girlfriend, I think, once or twice in the middle of the day so she can teach me how to use a spreadsheet
Yeah.
and like take over my computer. But other than that, like I've been okay. But yeah, I made that decision to go, full wholesale. I've been using my VA who does about 25, 30 hours a week. I've got him doing my admin work, and he is doing the OA sourcing because I'm still doing it. And he's also I'm starting now to get lists from distributors and brands. Actually, mostly what I've had luck with is brands going wholesale. And I'll have him source that list so that sometimes the list will be 30, 40 things long. And I'll have him just source the entire list and give me every which one is profitable, which one isn't, and then I decide what I if or something I'm going to buy. So it's kind of
John,
like
do you
it's kind
real
of like a
fast?
VA hybrid right now.
Do you look at the actual products,
Oh
each
yeah,
one, to ensure what they are, that you're good with the product? I mean, you
yeah.
put your eyes on those things.
Yeah, I'm still putting my eyes on absolutely every all he's really doing. I even stopped having him do the wholesale leads, getting a list for people for me to call. I stopped doing that. I was like, I want to do that myself right now. Like that's what I take most of my time with. But I have noticed like the past couple weeks, like all day long isn't just me calling cold calling places. Now, like half my day today was going through price lists, put another order in today, figuring out shipping. Like I was starting to do part of my day, like I had other things to do, which is good. That's the idea of it. So it's starting to come together. Like I haven't gotten that one brand distributor or something where I call on one thing and that one thing turns into like six things.
Ash.
It turns into a bunch and it kind of like opens up. And yet I've called on one thing, end up getting two things, three things, but just not that like. But I'm starting to get things are starting to happen. So I figure like I'm just gonna keep doing it and eventually like that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you do the
I mean
things
my
that you know
sales have
work, and
gone
you keep going.
yeah, my sales have gone up. Like if some stuff hits this month, like I might hit 20K, you know? So, and then the idea of like, but you do just see so quickly, like right away, like how wholesale is just like the replan. Because like all I've done is put in test orders. And it's basically like once I see how these things sell for a week, I'm gonna know right away, like a week or two, like, oh, because you're gonna get a feel because like when someone says on like on Amazon, it says like 200 plus sold. Well, that's 200 to 299. So, like, you have a roundabout, but you're not sure. And coming from doing clothes and so many variations, we never paid attention to that, how many were sold a month, because we were usually looking, it wasn't something we always looked at. Now it's all looking at that and using the Keep It charts too. But yeah, yeah. So we are doing it. We are wholesale, like it or not. Like we are here. We are doing it. I don't know if I have my brother coming over tomorrow night. He uses Slack a lot. He does property management and he's got a VA and he uses Slack a lot. So he's going to come and kind of give me a rundown for me to start using it a little bit better.
I'm curious, John. You use a virtual assistant to source. What does that typically cost?
So it's around, I pay him 30 hours. He's around 150 a week. I mean, it's
$5 an hour.
yeah, about $5 an hour. And he's good. I think he's more of an admin guy than anything else. But like he's good. I think higher end is more $8 an hour. Yeah, you can go up that high. And what a lot of wholesalers will do, if somebody you can start to really trust them. They start doing the sourcing for you and the ordering and all that stuff. Like you'll start to bonus them because just like any other job, you do the hourly and then you're like, hey, if you do this or you do that, like I can bonus you this, bonus you that. It's incentive. So the ones that you really, when you think you have a VA that's going to be with you for it, start incentivizing them.
Yeah, for sure.
If they sign up a new wholesale account and it brings in $10,000 a month profit, bonusing them $1,000 once, like
And they'll
it
find
makes
you
sense.
more.
Like they're gonna go. Guess what they're gonna go do? They're gonna go work harder and like find you more. Like, don't be cheap. Your
And don't
VA.
be selfish. Share it, man. Like they're
Yeah,
bringing you
like
the bit. Yeah.
yeah, like you're already paying them good money for like where they live and everything like that. They live well or they're middle class for what they're doing. You know,
Where does the one that you have? Where does he or she live?
Philippines.
The Philippines.
Most of them all live in Philippines. I think for Amazon that works well. Their English is great. But yeah, I'm starting to learn all the little different things. Like you guys have probably had any, but like Loom videos. So in my training and stuff, I'm just using like Loom video. Like at some point, there's going to have to be a time where like I take a week off of doing anything. And when I really start to get busy and put in like my SOPs and like start taking a couple days to really do it. But yeah, and you can totally see like what a really good VA can do. My VA, like he's a trustworthy guy. He's good. Like, and he knows the back end of Amazon. So he knows all that part, which like when I get we text the other day with those funky ASINs that came back generic. Like he just knows who to message and how to get that fixed. Or he got me $500 reimbursement for lost inventory. And
Very
it
cool.
takes he had to make spreadsheets for it, and you got to it's I don't want to say it's hard, but I don't know how to completely do all that stuff, and that would take me all day. And like he can do in an admin like that, once you start getting busy, they just take all that weight off your shoulders, and they're basically in charge of your health.
Tony was a guest from our previous episode, and he does talk about that a little bit in the episode as well, about the leakage that happens, and being able to track all that. So that's really good that your VA can help you with that and help find it.
Yeah, that would be the one thing. Like, I think I'd want to train a VA to how to source and stuff like that. But if I was ever in some point when I'm looking for another VA, like an admin VA, I would think that would be a part that you can find someone that's pretty, because if they've done it for 6 months or something, like, and all they did was admin for Amazon, like they should know it pretty good, you know? I mean, I'm sure I could learn it, but it would just take, it would take a lot of my time.
The guy of your intellect can learn anything.
Yeah, I feel like my brain is just like leaking out of my ears. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Like, I think I'm gonna make good strides in the next couple months. I'm just waiting for that. Like,
have you officially sent in your first wholesale order?
Yeah, the prep center got the first one today.
Oh, nice.
But of course, the other one, like, I didn't ask if they had both things in stock. I guess I should have. So it's taking an extra week for the rest of the shipment to come into like their place for them to send it to the prep center. Yeah, stuff like that. Like sometimes shipping is different. Like you got to ask about it. It's not just like a given and oh, like, hey, you order it, it gets shipped out. Given with this, like you got to see what's in stock and what's not.
Give me a rundown, John. You call your supplier, you call your brand, whatever it is. They send you product. They send it to your prep center.
Prep center.
Okay, so they send it directly to your prep center. The prep center gets it, and then they prep it all. They get it ready to ship to Amazon.
Yeah, and then
what's the turnaround time? So you send a pallet of
20, I don't know the turnaround time. It should be similar to OA.
Okay, so 24, 48 hours. Not very long.
It should take like 5 to 7 days for if they have it in stock for it to go to the prep center. Prep center says 24 to 48 hours. They'll have it turned around no matter what. Okay. And then it goes to Amazon.
And they ship it from there to Amazon.
Yep. And they have your account all in their system and everything like that. So it does all that. So like it should like doing FBA should be about the same as if you did FBA like with OA. Now you might order something, they take the order and they're like, hey, this product, we're not getting it for another week.
Yeah.
But a lot of times you won't have to pay for it until they ship it.
Okay.
So, and I guess that's pretty normal. Like I'm learning you need to ask what in stock, is it actually in their warehouse or on their way to the warehouse. So stuff like that. But all that's pretty simple. And I just try to get I think the one I might go pick stuff up. It's an hour away. It's a family-owned business distributor, grocery distributor. And that first order just isn't big enough for the shipping to make sense. So I'm going to prep it myself. But I get to go up and shake hands and meet them.
That's great.
That's pretty cool.
Put my first order in, get something face-to-face. They're a family-owned business, works there. That's what you want in this business.
Good connections, man.
Yeah, you want to do that. So you now they know you're real, because you don't know that can lead to a lot of other things, and it's worth the drive. It's a pain in the ass. I drive there, pick up 50 cases, and drive back home over an hour, and then prep it myself. But
that's this in the big scheme of things.
Right. That's not what I'm going to be doing all the time, but it's just worth it. So I think Friday morning I'm going to go do that. So yeah, we're just gonna keep on plugging along, see what happens.
So, let me ask you guys something, and I don't know if I'll have any information that could be beneficial to everybody else, but let's talk very briefly taxes. So I was under the impression that I was going to have to pay the state of Oklahoma, where I live, for the taxes on the items that I've sold. I talked to my CPA today, and because in my mind, once I put in my month of March, which I'm a little bit behind on that, but when I put in my month of February, based on the amount I sold, it was $2,500, and it said that I would owe $100 in taxes. And so I thought, all right, well, I'll just need to go ahead and pay this. Well, I didn't, because I got to like the next step and they want you to add in all these other line items and I didn't know what in the world to do with that. So that's why I called my CPA. And so I asked her, do you deal with any e-com stuff? And so she got to digging a little bit on the stuff. And it was interesting to me because I don't have to pay state taxes on the items that I'm selling. According to the state of Oklahoma, when I called them, they said that there would be tax. I would have to pay taxes on the goods that I've sold. But according to her and what she dug into in Amazon, I never collect taxes. Amazon collects his taxes. They're the ones who collect, and they're the ones who pay.
Right.
So if I were to be paying, I'm screwing myself out of that because I never collected taxes.
Yeah, and they want
that was interesting. I just never thought of it from that vantage point.
I haven't looked too much into it. I've just been kind of waiting. I figured like, well, when I make money, I'll start worrying about it.
My wife actually told me that I think Amazon takes out money for taxes.
They do
when somebody buys it. So
yeah,
that was just a little bit of information. I thought, let's share it.
Yeah. Well, everybody got like a little bit of information tonight. Everybody got a little update. On the Marketplace Mavericks. And yeah, what do we got? Pete, who do we have next week?
So next week, we have a gentleman by the name of Ian. He knows cash flow really, really, really well. And so I'm hoping that he'll be able to enlighten us on what that looks like as far as being able to have or be able to find or use the amount of cash flow that you derive from selling products. So he'll give us a little more information about that. But that's really all that I can kind of.
They're gonna have to just listen next week.
Tune in.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to tune in. But I think that was good tonight, guys. We got a little update to everybody out there, and next week we're gonna come back with another banger guest.
Yes,
and
plus
just spread the
three of us.
Yeah, of course, the three of us, and just spread a wealth of knowledge to everybody.
If we could just rub shoulders with you, John.
Oh man, I know. And we will keep on but don't worry, guys. We're going to keep on giving you updates. So until next time, we are off.
Hey, if I got a question, how do I get it to you, John? Come on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I need to check that email.
You do need to check that email because if you have questions or you want us to answer something that we could be able to do so, email us. marketplacemavericks@gmail.com. Marketplace Mavericks at gmail.com.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Ready?